Yahweh our Elohim did not deliver us to leave us in bondage. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 5 of the Torah portion Bo, meaning either contextually either to come or to go. Let's go to chapter 13, the book of Shemot or Exodus, and begin with verse 1. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Set apart to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beast, it is mine. Moshe said to the people, Remember this day, in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery, for by strength of hand Yahweh brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened is not to be eaten. Today you are going out in the new moon of Eve. And it shall be, when Yahweh brings you in the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service to this new moon. And then instructions are given about the feast of Hakmatzot, or unleavened bread. Reading this today, several things just kind of popped off the page at me. I want to share these thoughts with you. And that is that Yah is saying, first of all, the firstborn belonged to me. If an animal is not of the quality to be offered on the altar, such as a ram or a goat or sheep, etc., then if it's a donkey or some other kind of non-offerable, an animal that cannot be offered, you break the neck or you ransom it. When it comes to a human being, the firstborn belongs to Yah. The firstborn is significant in this manner at this point, and that is that it was generally understood that the firstborn held priestly quality, the priesthood of the firstborn, if you will. Some would call this then the priestly order of Melchizedek, or as is often said, Melchizedek, the priesthood of the firstborn. This is an authentic priesthood. It does exist. There are those that would do an erroneous comparison, claiming that the Levitical priesthood existed and then it was done away with, and then this Yeshua restored the Melchizedek priesthood in its place. Scripture, the Torah, is very plain that as long as there is a manifestation of Yah's presence in the earth, which will always be, and as long as there is worship service, sacrificial service on the earth, which will be in existence again, that it is the role of the Levitical priesthood to oversee that, and it never diminishes. That's never to be taken away. So what is the role of this firstborn priesthood? It existed up until the time that the Levites were taken, and that was because of the failure of Israel. It wasn't any grand scheme by the Levites to overpower a previous priesthood. Yah did this. And so at this point, the firstborn still hold this possibility. If you look over in chapter 24 of Exodus or Shemot, you will see that young men went and made offerings at Mount Sinai. Well, this would have been firstborn males that had gone and stepped into this role. Not necessarily Levites, not yet. Now, we have, as a part of being in Yeshua, our connection with Yeshua through redemption, we are brought into family status. We are adopted in. The house of Israel, Ephraim in particular, is referenced in the book of Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, as being Ephraim, you are my firstborn. What is that saying? It's not that they are better than anyone else. It simply says you have a responsibility, a priestly function, and that is intercession. guarding the presence of the Most High, personally, in your own life, in your own home, and in your community, that you set up a guarded perimeter, that Yah's presence is guarded, protected, and is prevented from being run through by fleshly advances of man. Long teaching can go on here, but suffice to say that Yah is calling the firstborn to priestly function. And then it says that we are to remember the strength of Yah's hand, how that deliverance did not come free or easy, but it came with a price. This should remind us of the price that Yeshua paid for us, that it was not free, it was not easy, but he paid the ultimate and thorough price for our deliverance and liberty and freedom before Yah. Now, then it also says that today you're going out, this new moon of Aviv. This gives us an understanding that deliverance means coming into Yah's timing, Yah's seasons, coming into his flow of the earth, how that we should move before him and recognize his calendar, his way of doing things. For example, when you begin to observe Shabbat on the seventh day, as Yah has commanded, it has a powerful way of reorienting your entire body clock, if you can understand what that is. Many of us, we simply get tired and go to sleep at a certain time, and we tend to wake up at a certain time. It's an internal body clock. When you observe Shabbat, according to the scriptures, your body begins to anticipate somewhere around on midday, the sixth day, I need to get stuff done so I can begin my time of rest. Your body just simply learns to appreciate that. Now we get down to verse number 5. It says that when you go into the land, and this foreign groups of people are listed. What was insinuated, but maybe not directly stated yet, was when you get to the land, there are going to be those there that are occupying your promise, and you're going to have to drive them out in order to obtain the fullness of all that I promised to you. In other words, they're not just going to pack up and move out because you show up. There's going to be war, and it's going to be a protracted war, and it's going to take some time and a lot of effort. But I will empower you and enable you to get this job done. Finally, it says, then you will keep this service to me. Putting all this together, gaining victory over that which occupies your promise. You have a promise of deliverance, of healing, of financial security, of your family being redeemed. Those things are legitimate, but then if there's fear occupying your mind, or if there are habitual sins occupying your being, if there is reluctance on your part to be obedient by some means, etc. These things are occupying your promise. And you need victory to rise up and drive that stuff out in order to obtain what it is that Yah has promised to you. How do we do that? Functioning in your priesthood, guarding the presence of the Father in your life, praying and interceding, learning to understand it's going to be the strength of Yah's hand and not the strength of my hand that will accomplish this for me. Understanding I need to get into Yah's timing. I need to move in his seasons. I need to move in his ways and trust him for that. Then I need to practically put my feet on the ground and start pushing this stuff out, taking authority over it in the mighty name of Yeshua, conquering it, driving it out. And then be faithful to keep the leaven out, the sin out, so that the pre-existing occupiers don't come back and reoccupy what I've cleansed. Just some thoughts. Shabbat Shalom to you and your house, to your family, to your congregation, to those who might meet with you. May you find the Shalom of Yahweh, full, complete, and overwhelming you. being rejuvenated and refreshed for the week that is to come. So until next week, Shabbat Shalom.